Am I getting you guys from beautiful Hawaii?
You are. Right now it's raining, but it's still beautiful.
Yeah, it's still beautiful, but yeah.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that. It's always been confusing to me because you guys are one of the most Texas famous families ever, yet you became this Hawaii kind of legacy. Around what year did that happen?
Probably, because we've lived in Hawaii our entire wrestling career, but we were Texas born and Texas bred. We definitely didn't change since we've been over here. We're still country boys over here, except instead of raising cows, we're raising sheep.
Yeah, the mentality is the same. The farm life, the country style is the same. We're just enjoying it out here in the islands out here.
There's a lot of Hawaiian cowboys out here. It's a Paniolo, that's what they call them. And so we found a group to mesh in with.
I can imagine. So every time you guys wrestle, you're flying from Hawaii to New York, Hawaii to California, or is there a second residence?
Yeah. We'll usually stop in either Denver or California, and then most of our matches with MLW are East Coast. It was Texas before, but now this is a whole new monster. Those long flights, but it's all worth it because I don't know. We both kind of like traveling, and
and we're getting those miles too. So
that's really it.
You gotta look at the bright side of everything. Yeah.
One day I'm gonna be going to France for free. One day it'll happen.
One day. Well, I've been glued to MLW for the past 2-3 years it's been on television. You guys are absolute standout stars. This is intended to be a huge compliment. Don't be embarrassed. You guys are the kind of wrestlers, the kind of talent that people who don't like wrestling can watch you guys and go, I see what they're doing. Those are people to stick by. But did wrestling almost not become the career path for either of you or both of you?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for those kind words. I appreciate that. I mean, that's awesome. Motivating.
I don't know if my goosebumps are coming up on camera, but
yeah, at the very beginning, we've been athletes our whole life. Football, we just eat, breathe, and slept football. We were, our whole Texas life. It was either growing up as young kids, we were always wrestling on the trampoline. It was wrestling and football our whole life. And as we got a little older in the high school range, we're kind of like leaning more towards, maybe we don't want to do what our dad did. Maybe we want to do some.
If this door stays open, then let's do football. But
we just went through whatever door stayed open, and for us it was wrestling. That was the door that never closed. And
honestly, as kids, it was of course like a dream to become pro wrestlers. As kids, it's like almost we knew we were going to be wrestlers. Like when the Hardy brothers, when they turned on each other and fought each other, we were looking at each other and we're just like, man, once we're a tag team, let's never turn on each other, even if there's belts involved. Like we shook hands as kids. It's cute now, but we're still gonna own that. Like we're never gonna turn on each other.
We never lost that childlike dedication to each other and to wrestling and to we're just having these title matches in our heads as we're kids. With the trampoline, we'd have the water spraying, act like we're sweating.
It's just like death matches on it.
Yeah, jumping off the roof onto each other. But
we would put big jackets on so that the punches wouldn't hurt and the clotheslines wouldn't hurt. But we were really we were trying to kill each other. We were laying it in. It was a mix between UFC and wrestling moves.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Of course, the legacy thing blows everybody's minds. I think that at least it is like this here in New York. Whatever your parents do for a living, you kind of go, hey, yeah, that's lame. Even if they have the coolest job on the planet, you go, yeah, I'm not going to be a teacher. That's cool that you did that. Was football almost the plan B for either of you or both of you?
Well, so my dad played football and he played Division I football, and so that was his first love. And then what made him really fall in love with wrestling is he brought his teammates out to one of his matches, and honestly, back then it was Texas Wrestling, RASSLIN. So and so he was embarrassed. He was almost embarrassed. He's like, man, I don't want to come to these shows, and all these old guys are working real slow. He's like, so I'm gonna beat the crap out of my guys so they enjoy it. And so he went out there and he put on a good show. But he watched how his football teammates like reacted, and is that it really like, man, this is something I could do, because he wasn't who he dreamed to be in football. Neither were we. We had weird talents, but like we were never as great as we wanted.
Yeah, we always had extremely high expectations on ourselves
with football, and we were never as great as we wanted to be. And then, you know, we could do random stuff like run fast, jump high. I could throw the ball far, but I wasn't accurate. You know, like I couldn't really find my placing. And I threw the discus. He did track and field, ran the hurdles, and then we got to wrestling, and it was like all of our weird attributes kind of, oh, it makes sense now. You know, like I can do a good close. I don't know. It was just weird how wrestling felt natural when we went to Japan, especially. And that's kind of, once we went to Japan, we really knew that, okay, maybe this is what we're going to do. And it kind of became exciting because it was a dream we kind of put away for a bit, you know, and pursued football. But we're really happy when we found out it was wrestling. So was my dad. My dad was super happy.
Not to be all name droppy, but a conversation that I'd had with MJF, your former roster mate, that wasn't part of an interview. He was a standout football player. And we were talking about exercise and all that. And he was telling me how, like, he can't ride a bike for a long period of time. He said he can't do anything that's like more than a 25-second burst of energy. Is it like that for you, where like the whistle starts, the play goes, you know, tackle, breathe? Is it kind of like that, or do I have that totally wrong?
No, that makes a lot of sense, because we were talking about that a few months ago, and I never thought of it like that. But yeah, for us, it's like I can like give myself completely, like kill it for about 15-20 minutes, and then my body like just like shuts down. And I've played both sides of the ball, and I was like, man, did I just become like a bad athlete or something? I can't keep up. I don't have that crazy endurance, but it's perfect for wrestling. You know, like if you're getting choked, that is time for you to breathe. You know, if a guy has you in a headlock and you're protecting your throat, you know, that is time for you to breathe.
Well, I apologize for pulling the curtain back a little bit right there. But again, you guys are big MLW stars, big stars in general and all that. What is it that keeps you loyal to MLW as opposed to looking around for greener pastures, so to speak?
Well, you know, they were the first promotion to just believe in us, you know, and you know, kind of put their neck out there, so to speak, you know, just to kind of give us that opportunity to live in Hawaii and, you know, still pursue our dreams in wrestling. And, you know, and I just like the direction the whole promotion is going. You know, Court Bauer, and he's always making these business deals happen. You know, I just feel like MLW is on the rise. You know, we're just riding along with them. You know, and I have complete faith in where the direction the promotion is going.
And you know, everybody else feels that way too. It's all the men in the locker room. It's a healthy, good locker room. It's all the men want to protect the company, and they want to do what's best for the company. And so, I mean, to have that, it's really valuable. But Court's just he's a game changer. He's the busiest man I've ever met. He's always trying to make MLW grow. He completely believes in it. And if you believe in what he's doing, you know, it's even better. And like, you know, Court's one guy I'm not worried about introducing him to anybody or meeting anybody, because, you know, he's a businessman. He's going to do the right thing. He makes great business decisions. And so I'm so happy he's in control. And the speeches he gives us before shows, he pumps us all up. We're ready to, it feels like a football game. It's that same locker room mentality. And it's you know, he's a great leader of the ship for sure. Great captain.
The first thing that you said in there, that they let you live in Hawaii, is that where you really want to live the rest of your lives?
You know, during this time, because, you know, through my dad's story, he definitely learned that you know, family is important, and he did a lot. He lost a lot, and so family's special to him, and it's something that we've everything my dad's gone through. We're trying to learn from his mistakes and our uncle's mistakes, and that's why we hold each other accountable, and you know, we're constantly talking, seeing it, because, you know, Von Erichs, they're people that are in their heads, you know, and so we're constantly with each other, encouraging one another. Just if we're ever having a down day, talking about it. And so we hold each other accountable with everything, especially athletics. We've done that our whole lives. But it's, you know, this is we had an opportunity to go to a tryout for WWE, and it wasn't for us. It was a life changer. Moved to Florida. It's say goodbye to family. Just had
we were thinking, you know, quote unquote best case scenario, we make it and have to spend all this time away from our families and stuff, and we just weighed our options. You know, we just wasn't sitting right with us. You know, we just feel like, you know, maybe there's another path. You know, maybe there's something else.
We were hoping there was.
Yeah, we were thinking, you know, hopefully there is. And then MLW came along probably like, you know, just a few weeks later, and it was just like, you know, the stars were aligned, you know, and we just felt like this is our destiny.
And it was a time where we were gonna, you know, kind of give up, you know, not give up, but just we weren't sure if wrestling was becoming an expensive hobby. We both loved it, but just like football, we loved it so much, but it didn't love us back, you know, and so we were just like, okay, let's see what we're gonna do. But I always known since we were kids we're gonna do something together, you know. That's just how we've always been, and you know, maybe because we are brothers, but when MLW messaged us, it was just confirmation that, you know, this is it, this is what you're gonna do. And then there's been a lot of confirmations, or 5 or 6 big ones that have really stuck out, because wrestling is the only door that's stayed open. You know, we've tried a lot of other things.
You know, and you know, one of the things was actually WCCW, my grandfather's promotion.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the very early stage, he was going to call it MLW, Major League Wrestling, and so we've always known that. And then like a few years ago, we heard of MLW, like we're just like, whoa, like what are the odds? And then we were kind of watching them, and we're like, man, what a cool kind of classic.
It became a thing though. We watched it like every Saturday. We ended up being like legit fans for MLW, and you know, we were loving. I was actually a fan of Tom Lawler before all this crap happened. I loved his. I loved that he brought that fighting mentality. We've come from Japan, and so we're all about that. You know, that fight mentality. We're not doing crazy flips. So I do a moonsault. Okay, I made myself okay. Okay, but other than that, you know, we try to hit hard and make it as like the people were watching a fight. You know, and it's you got to believe it. You know, you really have to believe it. I really am out there fighting.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of interviewing Lawler when he was nice and when he was not nice. So I hope that he gets his stuff worked out, and you and all that can eventually patch things up. But
before all this stuff started, he was one of our closest friends. He come out to Hawaii with us. He was we were good buddies, and then he did some stuff to the Texas flag that you know, we're not one to hold grudges or anything, but that is something that he needs to. We need to take care of, and then we can be friends if he wants to.
Yeah, no, I think he needs to apologize publicly. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and what he did to the flag, there was some angry Texans. We got so many messages, and people were hurt. They were like legitimately hurt over it, and they want Tom Lawler's blood. It was crazy, and so we're I don't know how it's going to go in Texas when Tom enters, but. He is right now. He's one of the most hated men in Texas.
Yeah, we have some unfinished business with Tom. That's for sure.
Don't mess with Texas. Well, do you got time for 3 quick questions and then you're free?
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Okay. First question.
Ross has got a dance recital. He's got to be at in 30 minutes.
I can imagine. Physique of a dancer. I get it.
No, he's a great dancer.
Twinkle toes. Yeah,
they call him Twinkle Toes.
First question. What I know about you guys, standout athletes, you're on MLW television, people like you, people respect you. But what's your number one hobby besides family and wrestling?
Oh, man. I love wrestling so much. But, you know, honestly, we love cliff diving. One of 2 great ways I like to get my head together is, you know, we're shepherds. We have a big sheep farm. I love spending time with the sheep. It's real quiet. They don't talk back to you, and they're good listeners, and so it's good. You can cut a sick promo on them, and they'll just take it, you know. But that's that. But cliff diving, deep sea diving. We both love diving. We're really we're outdoorsy. I love rivers. We're constantly outside doing stuff. My dad was a real nature boy, and so he brought us up that way. Being in Texas, we were barefoot, shirtless, walking around everywhere, and so when we came here, it actually made sense. I wasn't getting kicked out of stores. Not wearing shoes and a shirt, and so here you can go into Walmart without a shirt, and so that's one of the best parts of that I dig about Hawaii, living in Hawaii. But without family and wrestling, it'd be that, you know, spending time on the farm.
Yeah, you know, for me, it's same, you know, outdoorsy stuff. I like gardening. I like just being outside, hiking. You know, there's so many cool different waterfalls and stuff to hike to. There's this beautiful scenery, and, you know, so, you know, yeah, just being real nature boys, I feel like.
Oh, and poetry
and
slamming.
recitals. And dance recitals, either way.
And dance
dance
recitals,
yeah.
dance recitals, and I do poetry slam. So yeah. Those two.
Question 2. What was the last concert that both or either of you went to before COVID kicked in?
Like music?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I went to a reggae concert because I'm going with what Kauai has to offer, and so it was Soulja, and it was they had a concert over here. It was really cool. It was I think it was a few months before COVID started, but honestly, being on Kauai, there's not many concerts over here, and so we're kind of stuck with what we get. But if we're on the mainland, we always try to do fun stuff. Like if we're in Texas, we're going to Speed Zone or we're racing go-karts. We're definitely I wouldn't say we're like thrill seekers, but kind of. I mean, we love
we're just like
big thrill seekers a reference to Smoky Mountain Wrestling? Because you said go-kart thrill seekers.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And you are wrestling fans.
Yeah. So
True.
So that's true.
Got it. And then the last question, any last words for the kids?
Oh man, honestly, when we were at a low part in our career, when we were seeking fame and trying to get our names out there after Japan, one thing that kind of stopped us and made us look at wrestling totally different was the kids. There was a kid sitting at our autograph table at this indie show in the middle of Texas in this country town, and he just wouldn't leave the table. And he was talking about he said something like his he didn't have a dad anymore, and he was just, we would sign autographs and he would say something else, and we were just calling him buddy and, you know, loving him up, rubbing his head, putting our arms around him. And then at that time I was my wife and I were trying to have kids, and I couldn't. We had a now I have a son, though. He's a year old, but yeah, at that time I didn't think I could have kids, and I was just looking at the situation. I was like, man, there's a whole bunch of kids around me without dads, and we don't know all the stories that these kids have, and the wrestling fans in general. Wrestling is a safe place. We believe that people can go and escape their reality. You know, their boss just fired them. You're mad at your boss, whatever. Your boss can be the heel mentally. You know, you can see him getting his butt kicked. It's just, and wrestling brings people together. In Israel, we saw Arabs, Muslims, and Jews have their arms around her, and they're cheering together, laughing together, booing together. But as far as, you know, kids make wrestling beautiful to us. Kids really are what wrestling's all about. Since we've been at MLW, there's been less kids. It's more adults. That's awesome. We didn't know how we're going to be perceived, because with kids, you know, yeah, the kids love us, but we weren't sure how we're going to do with adults. But but kid shows are actually one of my favorite type of crowds, because they pop for everything. Their energy is like insane, and it's high the whole time from first match to the end. And and as a kid, when you meet a wrestler, it impacts you. I met a wrestler when I was 7 years old, and I'll never forget the smell I was smelling, the type of day it was. I remember everything about it, and he could have told me anything, and I would remember it forever. And so I remember seeing that platform that wrestlers have now as an adult. I mean, that's an important platform. You really can impact a kid. And so I know a lot of guys, even baby faces, want to be that badass baby face that's, you know, just a rugged baby face. But it's good to have good role models out there, and people that genuinely care for the kids. And I'm not saying we're great role models. We're trying to hold ourselves to great. Yeah, no, but yeah, we're doing our best to you know, to encourage these kids. And with us, they all definitely have if they want to talk to a wrestler, we're not going to snob you. We're going to talk to you. We want to hear about your day.
Yeah, we just want to be the kind of guy we wish wrestlers were when we were kids. Exactly. You know, looking up to them. We want to be that role model, you know, in whatever degree that might be.
When they snob you remember it forever, and it hurts. Someone I really looked up to kind of snobbed me, and then they knew who my dad was, and then they're nice to me. But it was, of course, I forgave him. But I was just, man, I wish you would have been nice to me if you didn't know who my dad was, you know. But it was definitely an important time. It was a good time for me. I took that in as as a positive and as a victory, because now I'm gonna love every wrestling fan, even the ones that hate us. You know, there's fans out there that hate us, and
I don't
you know it makes the machine keep running. You know, it's part of it. You know, you're not gonna be loved by everybody. You can't read all the negative comments people send you. You know, it's you got to take everything with a grain of salt. And one thing we all have in common is we love wrestling.
Well said. I can't top that. I look forward to seeing you guys live in New York when live stuff happens, on TV when that comes back.
Oh, man.
Congratulations on all your success, and just keep it up. Thank you so much for your time.
Man,
thank you so much.
You're
thank you
awesome,
for having
man.
us.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
My pleasure. We'll get this.
Paltrocast.